Welcome back, everyone, to the Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson, along with Donna Hopkins, Luke Holder, and Jason Campbell, former Washington quarterback. And Jason, it's Dallas week again. And you've been there. You've been through all of that. What is that like for a Washington player?
Well, it's Lou and Donna's favorite week. It's the Dallas Cowboys. So, it's a fun week. And, I got a chance to be fortunate enough to play in a lot of rivalries, Auburn, Alabama, and, Washington and Cowboys and Raiders and Chiefs. And, so I've got a chance to play in a lot of like tough environments when it comes to that game. This is one of those games where you can throw the records out the window. It all comes down to heart and dedication and gutsy. You got to play with guts. And this game gonna be like no other come Sunday because let's face it, Washington coming out, they have 5 days to get ready for this game, really 4 because you travel 1 day. So, the guys that's coming off the COVID list is gonna be available to play. They still got to find their rhythm. The guys that just played last night, they need to get in an ice tub. They need cryotherapy, whatever they got to do to get their bodies ready to go and play in this game. No one's going to take any, no one's going to give you any sympathy. No one's going to, they don't care who lines up and they had an opposite helmet on. They're trying to beat you. And this game is one of those games that Washington actually has to have. I picked them to win 2 out of the next 3. And I said this was going to be the one that's going to be the hardest because it's a shorter week. And so we'll see how they respond come Sunday.
Hey, Jason, I had, a couple of weeks ago, I had pulled out my pom-pom because it was Dallas week. I was fired up about the rivalry and so forth. And now, a couple of weeks later, how difficult is it going to be for this Washington football team to get all the pieces together with the unknown still going up to Dallas with a team like Dallas has all the pieces together. Their offensive line, their defensive line. And, it's a scary game coming forward. I mean, what is the chances of this Washington football team walking away with the win?
Well, when your back is against the wall, that's usually when you get a great performance. Last night I was telling people that's why I thought the defense would play great last night in the Philly game because their backs was against the wall. They knew that they had a quarterback that hadn't been there, so they had to take more of the ownership. And that didn't happen. That's the thing that concerns me about going into this game. I don't really know where we're at as a football team. Like you saying, Dallas is healthy. They're hitting on all cylinders right now at the right time. And that's what you need going into the playoffs. And Washington is starting to, they did exactly what they need to do after the bye. And Luke can attest to this. They won 4 in a row. And then you lose the game to Dallas. And now you're in your division game. The NFL set it up for your divisions to be at the end so people wouldn't be resting players. And now you're at the point where things are starting to unravel for Washington. Probably because during that 4-game stretch, everyone was giving a lot of credit to what the offense was doing. No, this defense was really balling. The offense wasn't scoring that many points. It's just you was getting away with more because the defense was holding them. So, this is a game that the defense got to show up for them to even have a chance, regardless who's at the quarterback position.
The ebbs and flows of the season, this is the worst time to have a ebb, the flow to go the other way because you did have it all in your hands, right? And Donna and I were talking that, the coulda, woulda, shouldas of this entire season, that first game against LA, the Saints game, the Denver game, all these, this team, as of recent, they seem like they have their backs against the wall and have to do something miraculous year after year after year after year just to get into the postseason. And I just think that with the injuries and the health issues, it's going to be a hard road ahead. It's going to be a hard road ahead.
How tough is this going to be for the quarterbacks, Jason, this week going against Dallas? And they've been out for a week under COVID protocol. And we don't even know if they're clear yet, but they should be. But how tough is that going to be for them? Because, they changed the offense a little bit, I'm sure. With Garrett in there. So talk about that, Jason.
Well, for the one thing for them is the fact that they both played against Dallas 2 weeks ago. So they have the experience of going against that defense and what that defense is going to do. So from a protection standpoint, I think the offensive line now has film to figure out, like, okay, how do we fan out to some of these DNs and make them rush harder up the field and try to help our guards out on the inside one-on-one. And our guards are going to have to be really firm and stern. That's why I say it's a must that Brandon Sheriff be able to play in this game, because, you know, he's one of those all-pro guys that can kind of handle his own. If he's not in there, now you're trying to use running backs to chip the outside guys. What they gonna do with Parsons? Then they're gonna start trying to blitz him up inside. Now you see that Dallas, they use him as a hybrid. They move him around a lot, and that's the thing that sets him apart from a lot of guys. He's able to do that. But from a quarterback standpoint, these guys, you know, you've been at home, you hadn't been able to throw passes to your receivers and everything. So you lose a little bit of your rhythm. You lose a little bit of your chemistry. So for them, the most important thing is if they can get healthy and get back out there, it's just building back that timing. And from a Washington standpoint, you're not going to win many football games rushing under 100 yards. You got to find a way to get more out of your rush game. You got to find a way to get more out of your screen games. You can't be feeling like you're clawing every time just to score points or score touchdowns. So for them, I just feel like for the quarterback standpoint, it's just imperative that they study a lot of film and be prepared to get the ball out quickly because of that rush they're going to see on Sunday.
Hey, Jason, and also J.D. McKissick is out for the year. Then you got Antonio Gibson with a toe injury again. So you're limping in with your running game, which is going to be key come Sunday against the Cowboys to not have your running game intact.
Right. And like I said, you and Lou was at the game last night, and y'all saw like how that affected when Gibson was out of the game for a small portion of the time. Like, it's almost like they didn't know what to do, you know, and then you already talking about you have two tight ends in Bates and Jones that you really don't know a whole lot about, that you're trying to get something. Bates had the huge catch on the 3rd and 1 play that Gilbert was able to get outside and hit him. That was a gutsy play call, but you need more of those if you're going to have an opportunity to win this game, because Lou, if you was at the game last night, like, from a run game standpoint, what was Philly doing from a defensive standpoint to really stop the run from the first time that Washington got the ball in the short field and scored? Like, that's my thing. Where was that same tenaciousness moving forward?
It goes back to the coordinator. You mentioned it. I don't know what Del Rio does from game to game, but it just seems like he doesn't have the pulse. I mean, Landon Collins was playing like an all-pro. And then all of a sudden, you know, you asked some great questions. I mean, if I could read Jack Del Rio and understand why he doesn't put his players consistently in positions to win football games, it's beyond me. It is beyond me. It's beyond me. They
sounded like Dexter Manley.
At this point, you know what it's going to take to stop the Dallas Cowboys offense. You know what it's going to take. And it's right there for the coordinators to put this team. I mean, Jonathan Allen was incensed after that game. I mean, we all just talked about it. He was curt. He was frank. He was like, we did not play well. And he did say, we are going to play better against Dallas. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. And let's talk a little bit about this situation with Dak Prescott. People are saying he's not playing the Dak Prescott game right now. He's a little tentative about running and all of that. What's going on with him, Jason?
Well, I think, you know, let's say this. He didn't play any preseason, but the first game of the season, he lit it up. And he went out there and threw for like 400-some yards. And then, you know, he had a couple of games where everything was going right. But you know what? When he started to get hit, and he got hit often, everything seemed like it started to change for me from the standpoint where something was going on that he wasn't feeling really comfortable and trusting that leg as much as he used to. And you can tell where they was losing rhythm. You know, they had a couple of receivers going in and out of the offense. You know, guys, you know, hurt, some guys on COVID and everything. I thought he lost some of his rhythm and everything. But I also, the most important thing, I think the reason he really struggled a little bit is the Dallas Cowboys think they're winning the Super Bowl every year. And because they started off the way that they started off, I think he's carrying so much weight on his shoulders that I say, I got to prove to everybody in the world why I deserve this contract and why I got to live up to this contract. And the only way for me to live up to this contract is I got to take this team to the Super Bowl, and it got to happen now. And I think when you start to play for the people and not play for the team and for yourself, you start to lose who you are. And I think some of those decisions that he's been making, like Washington should have intercepted him 3 times in that game. You know, Holcomb got him with the one that he didn't see him, but that type of throw just shows me like he's pressing right now. And that's what's going on.
Will it make a difference that they're in Dallas? Will that be a big difference in this game?
Yeah, it makes a difference from a quarterback standpoint because he's at home. You know what I'm saying? Like Dallas typically plays different at home sometimes, but I think from the point for Washington, it falls more on their quarterback shoulders, how they handle the crowd noise and how they, sustain. But it's going to come down to Scott Turner coming up with a run game and getting his team in third and shorts where they can manage getting third downs and not being in third and longs and becoming more exotic with the play calling to give his team an opportunity to win in the first place, because otherwise Dallas is going to peel their ears back and just come after them until they show them otherwise.
Thank you.
And, it's holiday weekend too. And so what would you guys like to see Washington get as a gift, a holiday gift for Sunday's game? I mean, because, hey, everybody's wishing for things this weekend. What is Washington wishing for? Donna?
Miracle of having all of their players back. That's pretty much what it is. A miracle.
Jason?
In all their players.
Hopefully that Dallas come out and just fall flat on their face like they did against the Raiders on Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Lou?
Nice.
For them to turn the ball over. This game is going to be won by turnovers. I guarantee you that the team that turns the ball over is going to win this game. And as Jason just said, Dak Prescott will give you the ball. He's known now to give you the ball. So they need to get some turnovers. That defense needs to create some turnovers because this offense needs some oomph, and they need to know that the defense can help them out. So I think that and Dak will give you the ball. Hopefully that Zeke will put the ball on the carpet, because they all have done that. We've all seen Dallas just be giving stuff away for Christmas and New Year's and all year round. Dallas be giving people gifts all season. They give people gifts. They need some turnovers on Sunday.
I'm hoping that Dallas eats too much turkey and ham on Saturday. And
that's
they
Thanksgiving.
Come out fat and happy.
Hey, Lou, some people eat the same thing on Thanksgiving for Christmas. You already know. Don't act like they're eating some turkey and some ham again.
Hey, Jason, I just want one of those meals that you be throwing down. I mean, every time different spread and dessert.
Yeah, I'm trying to add lamb chops to the menu. Everybody want to give me a hard time by adding lamb chops. I'm like, look, they're going to be on the menu.
Leg of lamb one time.
I want crab cakes.
Didn't you have a leg of lamb one time? Did you fix? Or did you buy that?
No. I fit some of my lamb chops.
Okay.
I fit some of the lamb chops.
So this
I
brother,
want to get you on
air. Hold on.
Time air cooking a meal. That's all I want to see you
Time out. This brother's late to the party. I haven't had any of Jason Campbell's cooking.
Me either.
Hey, you learn a lot of things when you get close to 40.
Yeah. Jason is doing it down there. Well, look, is there any team, we got a minute or so. Is there any team out there that's really playing lights out that we think is going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, that are going to win their conference?
Kansas
for me,
City.
It's kind of like Green Bay.
Kansas
City. If they get home field advantage, it's going to be tough to win.
Let me tell you something. Kansas City, Andy Reid, Jason Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. Let me tell you something. That team is going to be accounted for in the postseason.
Oh, Lou, you just like them because they think they look like Kappa brothers. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's Green Bay for me because frozen tundra, home field advantage, and the way that they're hitting on all cylinders, they can actually run the football and play great defense this year. So I like Green Bay.
All right. So now we do say that I think Kelce and Tyreek are on the COVID list.
Yes.
Right? I believe they're so that's going to be tough, Lou, for Kansas City.
What? They're going to be on the COVID list for the rest of the season?
Just 1 week.
What are we talking about? Hold on. Was your question about the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Kansas City is in the AFC. Green Bay's in the NFC. We're all talking the same language. What are y'all talking about?
Nobody said the Colts.
Their momentum. I think that's what our director did.
Oh, Jason just mentioned a good team. Jason just mentioned the Colts. Yeah, Carson Wentz going to the Super Bowl would be really interesting.
Oh my goodness.
That's not going to happen.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. We're out of time. Jason, thanks for joining us. We hadn't had you until now, this a year, because of all the stuff that you're doing, but you're doing some great things, and we always love having you with us.
And we're waiting for the meal, Jason. We're waiting for the meal.
Yeah, we're going to have to eat some of his food, man. All right. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Sideline. Take care, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.